Your chaos is your choice. Bold claim, isn't it? But think about it. How often do we find ourselves drowning in disorder, blaming the world for what's happening to us, while quietly ignoring the fact that we hold the reins? It might sting to hear, but the truth is, the life you're living right now is shaped by the energy you allow to control you. Now here's the catch. Not all chaos looks like chaos. Sometimes it wears the mask of comfort, like procrastinating on a dream. Other times, it's disguised as busyness, endless tasks with no clear purpose. And in the rarest of moments, you might feel a glimmer of harmony, that sweet balance where everything just clicks. That's no accident. It's the result of understanding and mastering the forces that shape your mind and actions. Today, we're diving into the wisdom of the gunas, tamas, rajas, and sattva. These ancient Hindu concepts explain the very energy that flows through you every day. Want to break free from laziness? Want to harness your restless energy into meaningful action? Or maybe you just want to find a way to live with peace and purpose? You're in the right place. Stick with me, and you'll not only learn to identify the forces holding you back, but you'll also uncover practical tools to master them. By the end of this, you'll see your chaos for what it really is, and more importantly, how to choose something better. But before we dive into these lessons, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Ready? Let's get started. Lesson 1. Recognize tamas, breaking free from inertia. Picture this. You wake up, but it feels like you're still stuck in bed. Your to-do list looks like Mount Everest, and you can't seem to take that first step. Sound familiar? That's tamas. It's the silent force of inertia, confusion, and stagnation that creeps into your life and holds you back. But here's the truth. Tamas only controls you if you let it. The first step is to recognize when tamas takes over. It disguises itself as comfort, but it's really a trap. Ever spent hours scrolling through your phone, convincing yourself it's a break? Or procrastinated on a project so much that it started to feel impossible to begin? That's tamas whispering, "Stay here, it's easier." How do you fight it? Start small. Really small. The kind of small that feels almost laughable. Make your bed. Yes, I mean it. Making your bed might seem trivial, but it's an act of defiance against stagnation. It signals to your brain that movement is possible. Or step outside for a 10-minute walk. You don't need to jog or lift weights, just move. Let the sun or breeze nudge you out of inertia. Another way to combat tamas is by creating a simple morning ritual. Drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up, stretch for 2 minutes, or tidy up one corner of your workspace. These micro-actions create momentum, and momentum is the antidote to tamas. And let's talk about food. What you eat can either fuel your energy or deepen your lethargy. Heavy processed meals. That's a direct invitation to tamas. Try switching to lighter, fresher options. A fruit smoothie, a handful of nuts, or a veggie-packed meal. The difference in how you feel afterward is undeniable. But here's the real secret. Overcoming tamas isn't about never feeling stuck again. It's about learning to recognize when it's creeping in and taking one intentional step to disrupt it. Because once you start moving, even a little, tamas loses its grip. But breaking inertia is just the beginning. What happens when you have too much energy and no focus? That's where the next lesson comes in. Lesson 2. Master Rajas, channeling your energy. If tamas is the force that holds you back, rajas is the one that pushes you forward, but often in all the wrong directions. Imagine this, you're buzzing with energy, juggling 5 tasks at once, but by the end of the day, you feel like you've achieved nothing. That's rajas at work. It's the restless drive, the endless to-do lists, and the constant urge to keep going without stopping to ask, why am I doing all this? The problem with rajas isn't the energy itself, it's the lack of focus. It's like driving a car with a gas pedal stuck but no idea where you're headed. So, how do you take control of this chaotic force? Start with one word: prioritize. At the beginning of your day, take a moment to identify the 3 most important tasks you need to accomplish. Just 3. Focus on them first before letting the rest of the world pull you in 100 directions. Another way to tame rajas is to set boundaries for yourself. For instance, if you're working non-stop, schedule breaks, even if it's just 5 minutes to breathe, stretch, or meditate. It's easy to get caught up in a whirlwind of activity, but those moments of pause can transform your day. Think of them as recalibrations for your energy. And here's a trick for the end of your day. Reflect on what you actually accomplished. Write it down. Not what you started or attempted, but what you finished. This simple practice gives you clarity and keeps the Rajasic chaos from taking over your sense of progress. Let's not forget one more thing. Learn to say no. Rajas thrives on overstimulation, and sometimes the most productive thing you can do is protect your time and energy. Saying no to unnecessary commitments or distractions allows you to focus on what truly matters. Rajas isn't inherently bad. It's a force that, when harnessed, can propel you toward incredible achievements. But left unchecked, it can leave you spinning your wheels. The key is channeling that energy with intention and clarity. Speaking of clarity, how do you cultivate it and keep it alive in the chaos of everyday life? That's where the next lesson comes in. Lesson 3. Cultivate sattva, striving for harmony. Now that you've wrestled with tamas and tamed rajas, it's time to aim for something higher, sattva. Sattva is the state of balance, clarity, and harmony, a calm confidence where you're both energized and at peace. Sounds perfect, doesn't it? But here's the catch. Sattva isn't something you stumble into. It's something you cultivate. Think about a time when you felt completely aligned, like everything in your life made sense, even if just for a moment. That's sattva. It's not about doing less or doing more. It's about doing what truly matters. One way to nurture sattva is by creating an environment that reflects it. Clean, organized spaces can do wonders for your mental clarity. Imagine sitting down to work at a desk free of clutter. It's like your brain breathes a sigh of relief. And let's talk about your inputs, not just what you eat, but also what you consume mentally. Sattva thrives on positivity and simplicity. So if your daily routine involves binge-watching dramatic shows or scrolling through heated social media debates, it might be time to swap those out. Try replacing them with something uplifting, a thought-provoking book, calming music, or even a quiet moment to yourself. Think of it as food for your mind. Sattva also loves routine, but not the rigid kind. It's the kind that brings rhythm to your day, a morning ritual that grounds you, an evening wind down to quiet your thoughts. Even something as simple as practicing gratitude each night can shift your mindset toward balance. Want an example? Write down 3 things you're grateful for before you sleep. It's simple, but the ripple effects on your mindset are profound. Here's the thing about sattva. It doesn't mean you'll never face chaos or stress. But when those moments come, you'll face them from a place of calm strength, not frantic reaction. It's like being the eye of the storm, still and steady, no matter what's swirling around you. But cultivating sattva isn't a one-time event. It's a journey, one that deepens with practice and intention. And speaking of journeys, what happens when life's ever-changing forces pull you between tamas, rajas, and sattva? Understanding that dynamic is the key to living in harmony, and it's the focus of our next lesson. Lesson 4. The dynamism of the gunas, understanding life cycle. Here's the truth about the gunas. They're never static. You might think you've conquered tamas or mastered rajas, but the reality is, these forces ebb and flow, weaving through your life in a never-ending dance. That's not a flaw, it's the design. Understanding this dynamism is the key to navigating life with grace. Think of the gunas as the gears in a machine. Sometimes, life demands stillness, tamas, sometimes action, rajas, and sometimes balance, sattva. The trick is knowing which gear to shift into. For instance, after a long day of intense focus, rajas, your body and mind might need rest, tamas, to recharge. But if that rest drags on into laziness, it's time to invite sattva back into the mix with clarity and purpose. Let's make this practical. Imagine you're working on a big project. The planning phase might feel a bit tamasic, slow, and deliberate. When you move into execution, rajas kicks in, driving you to act. And when the project is done, sattva offers the satisfaction and reflection that come from seeing it through. Each phase has its place, but staying too long in one can throw you off balance. Here's a real-life exercise to help you identify which guna is currently at play. At the end of your day, take a few moments to reflect. Were you mostly productive but scattered, Rajas? Calm and clear, Sattva? Or stuck in avoidance, Tamas? This awareness alone can help you pivot when you're out of sync. The beauty of this cycle is that it teaches us to adapt. You don't need to resist the shifts between the gunas. Instead, learn to flow with them. When you recognize their influence, you can respond with intention rather than react impulsively. That's how you turn this dynamic system into a tool for growth. But here's the challenge. Maintaining this awareness isn't easy. It requires daily practices that keep you grounded and intentional. What kind of practices? That's exactly what we'll explore in the next lesson. Lesson 5. Practices to cultivate sattva. Now that you understand how the gunas shift and interact, let's focus on what you can actively do to bring more sattva into your life. Because let's be honest, who doesn't want more clarity, peace, and harmony in their daily routine? The good news is cultivating sattva doesn't require a complete life overhaul. It's about small, intentional practices that elevate your state of mind and being. Let's start with your mornings. How you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. A sattvic morning ritual might include something as simple as a few minutes of meditation. Don't overthink it, just sit, breathe, and let your mind settle. Pair that with a nourishing breakfast. Think fresh fruits, nuts, or a warm herbal tea. These choices fuel not just your body but your mind as well, keeping it light and focused. Your environment also plays a huge role in fostering sattva. Ever notice how a cluttered space makes you feel overwhelmed? Sattva thrives in clean, organized surroundings. Take a few minutes each day to tidy up. It's not just about aesthetics. It's about creating a mental space where clarity can flourish. And then there's the power of what you consume, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Start by reducing exposure to negativity. That might mean limiting time spent on social media or avoiding content that stirs up unnecessary stress. Instead, choose uplifting books, podcasts, or even conversations. One recommendation: the Bhagavad Gita. It's packed with timeless wisdom that can shift your perspective and inspire balance. Don't forget about movement. Sattva isn't just about sitting still. It's about moving with purpose. Gentle practices like yoga or even a mindful walk can do wonders for your state of mind. The key is to move in a way that feels aligned, not rushed, not forced, but intentional. Finally, gratitude is a sattvic superpower. Take a moment at the end of each day to reflect on what went well. Write it down if you can. This practice rewires your brain to focus on abundance and harmony, even when life feels chaotic. But here's the thing, cultivating sattva is a journey, not a destination. It's about weaving these practices into your daily life, one small step at a time. And when you do, you'll start to notice how it transforms the way you respond to life's challenges. Speaking of transformation, how do you sustain balance when life is constantly shifting? Let's dive into that next. So there you have it, the ancient wisdom of the gunas brought to life in ways you can actually use. But here's the thing, all this knowledge, it's useless unless you take action. Are you ready to break free from the inertia of tamas, channel the restless energy of rajas, and embrace the harmony of sattva? Or will you let these forces control you instead of the other way around? Let me ask you, what's one thing in your life right now that feels chaotic? And more importantly, what are you going to do about it? The choice is yours. But remember, if you want balance, if you want clarity, you can't wait for it to just show up. You have to create it. And the best time to start, right now. If you found value in this video, don't just walk away. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This is just the beginning of your journey with these transformative concepts. And if you're looking to dive even deeper, I've got just the thing for you. The Bhagavad Gita, a timeless classic that expands on these teachings, is available for a super affordable price on Amazon. You'll find the link pinned in the first comment. Trust me, this book could change your life. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you're ready to keep learning and growing, click on the card here to jump to the next video. Let's keep building this momentum together. See you there.